Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today, what we're going to be taking a look at is our, I was going to say Planet Zoo, but Jurassic World Evolution 2 feature focus. So they used to do these all the time, so it's going to be really cool. We're getting back into these, so I'm really excited to have a look at this one for the new game and reveal some cool information as well. It's kind of similar to the article, but it's cool to see something official, so we'll have a read through of this and have a little discussion about it and do what we normally do. So I'm quite excited for this one. So, hello park managers. We've recently revealed the Jurassic World Evolution 2 to the world with a little help from Jeff Goldblum and Gareth Kingley, or how you pronounce it, I don't know. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, you can check it out below. We are incredibly excited to enter this bold new era along with you, our amazing community, and we hope that you join us. You will join us, and as we reveal what we have in store for you. So that's pretty cool. Awesome. So over the coming weeks and months, we will be counting down towards the full release with a wide variety of community activities on our forum and social channels, so don't forget to stay tuned for that. We'll be also bringing you feature focus articles to highlight a small portion of what's been done in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So in our inaugural feature focus, we'll be discussing some of the new features and mechanics to consider when acquiring and managing your dinosaurs and prehistoric reptiles. Good they didn't add water or land dinosaurs like a lot of people are knowing. So that just goes over what this is going to be. Wonderful picture of Pseudoceratops. So we have updated the process of acquiring and bioengineering dinosaurs into your parks. Extracting DNA from their fossils allows you to build out their genome, then they create them in your hatcheries, While dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution had been created one at a time, the hatcheries can now create and release several dinosaurs at a time, letting you populate your park with more dinosaurs a lot faster than before. So that's a really good quality of life update. Instead of having just to wait for done dinosaur, we can release a herd in the go, especially for social animals. That'll really help. I think that's really, really cool. So, to go in, the process is split into two stages: synthesis and incubation. In synthesis, you can create a clutch of eggs and can apply genetic modifications to tweak everything from your dinosaur social traits, lifespan, skin patterns, and coloration. So that seems pretty similar to what we got in Secrets of Dr. Wu, so you're able to change your animal's genes and things like that, which is pretty cool. I quite like that. And I think that could be really delved into as we'll look through. So the results of these genetic modifications are revealed at the end of the synthesis stage, and your dinosaur may have both desirable and undesirable traits depending on the modification you choose. So I really like the idea of that. I think that adds another big level of management. So if you want to have an animal that has a really, really useful or popular genetic trait, but it also has like lower lifespan, maybe lower I don't think fertility will be a factor. Just lower lifespan, maybe more aggressive, harder to keep, whatever. So I think it's really cool to have these sort of balancing acts. So instead of just putting it in and then, we're not going to just have things that just make it harder to incubate. There's going to be things that have both positive and negative consequences. So that's something that you can decide to manage and things like that. Especially if you're tight on money or something, like you want to get a really good Tyrannosaurus out, and you have this really good mutation that really, really brings out like what's popular, but then you make it either really sickly or aggressive or whatever, or chances of other bad things happening. So I think that really helps. Maybe, let's say we want to make a T-Rex that's like really, really big and powerful and cool, or just looks cool. But then you have, with that, it's maybe more susceptible to illnesses because of its compromised immune system, for example, something like that. So things like that you can balance and change to decide what you really want from your dinosaur. So I think that's really, really cool. So then once you've done that, in incubation, the dinosaurs are raised from adulthood inside the the hatchery, and the dinosaurs can be released into your park. So that basically works the same as Jurassic World Evolution 1, nothing changed there. So I think that's a really cool system. I really want to see the balancing acts and not just, this means this and this means that. But I really like the idea of having something, you decide something, and you think, well, there's positive and negative, so I think that really adds to creative gameplay. So you can sit there and be like, okay, I want to give this, but if I do that, I'll make a negative impact on this. So you have to account and manage for that. So I think that's really cool. So dinosaurs can also be released in groups from a single hatchery, so that all the dinosaurs you've bioengineered can start exploring their new world together instead of going one at a time. So that's really, really good. So now we can have a herd of dinosaurs come out, especially if they're social, so we don't have to worry about one coming out, then it's social going down, then another one coming out, especially for something like Metabarosaurus, because their socials can go down enough before you can even pump out enough if you've only got one hatchery in the enclosure. So you got to be really careful with that. So another feature that they've added as well is that they've excited about is remote release, which lets you transport dinosaurs directly from a hatchery to a different part of the map. And this lets you separate hatcheries and enclosures in case you need a little extra more space for dinosaurs. So I quite like that. I think that's really, really cool. So what that means is that instead of having to go and trank it and to get it moved and so now just right off the bat you can just get your animals and tell them to put in a certain enclosure, which I think is a really cool quality of life. Because no one wants a big wieldy hatchery in the middle of their enclosure. Or that takes up a lot of space. It's just not very efficient, and it looks really clunky, and it's huge, and a lot of people don't want to put that right next to an enclosure. But I think adding the remote release will really help just to make the park flow more, because even if you guys remember at JPOG, if you had the hatcheries in JPOG, they were just huge and cumbersome in the enclosure. So, and they did the same in JWE. So what happens, people will just make one hatchery or a couple hatcheries in a paddock there, then you get your dinosaurs and bring them out, then you trank them, and then you release them to their enclosures. So that's what usually happened. But I think this will really help a lot with adding things. I think that'll be really cool. So this is pretty cool as well. So bioengineering isn't the only way to get the dinosaurs into your park. Certain modes will allow you to transport live animals into your park from the wild via remote capture and narrative elements, and in some levels there'll be wild dinosaurs in your surrounding area that you need to locate, tranquilize, and transport back to your facilities. So I think that's going to be really, really cool. I think that almost makes it like a safari park kind of management. So what you want to do is, if you have, maybe this could be really cool. Maybe if you have chances of rare dinosaurs, like if you find a Tyrannosaurus and you can catch it, that's a free Tyrannosaurus, but that can be very rare. So I think having that can add like a really another cool angle to it. And plus, if you're having wild dinosaurs, that just means you save money. You just need to go and catch them. And I don't think wild dinosaurs would be all that common. I can see that really being a story thing. I could easily see it be like maybe even in like Sandbox or Career or however you want to pronounce it, we use it. In campaign, there'll obviously be missions where you have to do missions of taking care of wild dinosaurs, but even in Sandbox, you could have like random events, so that's something you can account for. So I think that's really, really cool. I would really like to see that actually. That'd be awesome. So you can just have wild dinosaurs and pick it up and do that as well. So ensure your enclosures have everything the dinosaurs might need in order to thrive. How you respond to these events is up to you, but they will certainly bring in dinosaurs that add something unique to your park. So you might just get dinosaurs that you haven't really got, or you might not be able to get, or rare dinosaurs. So if you if you're really lucky, you might get a real nice Tyrannosaurus with great genetics, and that can pretty much save your park. So I think that's really cool. Just adds another aspect to getting in dinosaurs. So it isn't just find fossil, do this. It's really mixed and matched and creative. So, all dinosaurs have needs and... Wait, did we read that? Yep, we did that. So, all dinosaurs have needs and requirements for their enclosures that you need to fulfill. You will need to provide food, water, and a comfortable environment for your dinosaurs to thrive in, and different species that have different needs. So that's part of the course. Dinosaurs will naturally create territories inside their enclosures based on their environmental needs. So that's pretty cool. Territories are going to be something that you're going to have to maintain, so that's pretty cool. They will also seek to expand their territory if they aren't satisfied with what's currently available. So that's going to be something that you have to constantly manage, so enclosures will be pretty dynamic. Territories are a new feature in Jurassic World Evolution 2, allowing you to design more flexible exhibits. Especially with them being larger, that makes a lot of sense. and the game's sort of trying to be a little bit more safari park slash conservation kind of focus there, because you're not just making a zoo or a theme park, you're making like a safari park or a reserve where these animals will live more in a wild state and compared to a zoo state. So I think that's pretty cool. And plus, territories are something that animals in large enclosures will naturally try to have. You will be the reason most zoos don't have them is just because they don't have the size. No zoo's going to have a big enough area for a territory of a lion, for example. So usually they just get the space what they have, and they're usually pretty happy with it. So it's all good. So let's have a look at this. You will also need to put more thought into where you place your viewing galleries, as dinosaurs will roam around a lot more than they did previously. You're not guaranteed that they will stay in the same place for long periods of time at a time, especially if they have big enclosures. So, I think that'll really help a lot. That's another management thing. So you want to make sure your dinosaurs are visible to pretty much everyone. And since they're a lot bigger, they're probably not going to be in range. Like usually, if you did it right, you could probably just cover your whole enclosure with visibility. But I think it'd be really cool if they added as well is that dinosaurs don't like a certain amount of visibility, so you need some more areas where they can't be seen, and so it's a privacy thing. I think that'd be another cool thing to manage. So you got to be careful with that. I think that's a lot of this is coming from Planet Zoo as well, and a lot of good stuff in this game might feed back into Planet Zoo, which I'm really excited to see. And I might do a video on that. I'll see what I want to do. So, also, your dinosaurs will exhibit new behaviors that react to their surroundings and react to their surroundings. We've added new animations for when dinosaurs are resting, socializing, walking, running, hunting, and fighting, making them more realistic and natural. So, yeah, that's going to be funny. So, if we all remember from JPOG, they would either walk in a line. Herding was quite a bit more dynamic in Planet Zoo, and also the animals were a lot more dynamic. So, I think Planet Zoo animals are pretty much like the best animals in video games. It's really cool. They're wonderful. So, they'll be, instead of making this circle of the cabal circle of socializing, they will most likely interact more, what do you call it? Dynamically, yeah. And also, we can see running and hunting also get new animations and resting as well. So, Path of the Course, those were things that were already in Jurassic World Evolution. And this big one, hunting and fighting. So, that's going to be big. So, carnivores suited for it will engage in pack hunts. That'll include things like Velociraptor, Deinonychus, maybe even Tyrannosaurus to some extent. That would be pretty cool. If it's not just pack hunting in one sense, maybe T-Rex, because in the movies it's been shown to hunt in pairs almost, looking for their baby. So I think that could be cool. Maybe in pairs, maybe pairs or packs, so anything larger than two, and then one solitary hunter, which I assume that's subspecies, so it's more dynamic that way. And show a more dynamic range of movement when taking down prey. So, dinosaurs that are considered prey might be able to escape from predators and continue living after a visit to the park's medical staff, of course. So, before we get into that, dinosaurs that are prey, so that means instead of lining up and then playing the death animation, they'll respond more dynamically. Dinosaurs will run and defend themselves, and predators will actually try to catch and hunt. It'll be much more dynamic, so you could watch a hunt, you'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So it's not just moving in. I think that's really, really cool. I really like that concept, especially since we are going for, I think this really does make sense since we're going for more wild, reserve, safari park kind of concept for the game, because before it was kind of just like zoos. Zoo animals don't hunt because their food is provided for them. But this is much more in a wild state, so that makes sense. So I can see why they are taking it this way, because those like Pokemon battle things were really kind of stupid in my opinion. Because you're in a zoo, you don't go to zoos to watch animals kill each other. You go to see them behave naturally. You see them to walk and sleep and just see them. You're there to see them. You're not there to see them fight to the death, because that's not only horrible for the animal welfare. People don't want to see animals killing each other unless it's like a nature documentary. But we don't want to see animals in our face getting brutalized. So I think that does help a lot with the concept and adding to the hunting of the game and the fighting, because that's clearly was a big thing in JWE. So I think that's pretty cool. And moving on to the medical stuff. So wounded and sick dinosaurs can be treated in the field by Mobile Veterinary Unit, so that's their new unit. A new park team we're introducing into Jurassic World Evolution 2. Major injuries will need to be treated at the Paleomedical Facility. We'll have more to share about this on a later date. So that seems to be quite similar to some extent to Planet Zoo. So your animal can get injured or sick, and if it needs some serious attention, it can go to the Paleomedical Facility after the mobile veterinary units kind of picked it up. So that'd be pretty cool. It'd be interesting to see how that apply to animals that are really big. Like, I imagine there might be different vehicles that we can drive. I would really like to see what we would get for like a sauropod, something really large, and then you can maybe have one for like large, medium size, quote unquote medium, for animals like Triceratops and Stegosaurus. One for large carnivores and just one for smaller animals. So I think that'll be really cool to see how that expands. And yeah, so that means we'll be, of course, taking care of our animals with medical issues. So if you can't just watch its health go back up to 100 again, it might be if it's not seriously injured, but if it is seriously injured, you need to take it to the medical facility. So to move over this, so if several dinosaurs share the same enclosure, if several dinosaurs share the same enclosure, their territories might overlap, and you might see them fight for dominance. Luckily, certain species get along better than others, letting you create peaceful enclosures by housing compatible dinosaurs together. So that seems to be quite similar to Planet Zoo as well. A lot of animals are compatible with other animals, especially African animals. You can have giraffes and white rhinos and things like that together, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I like that. That's something that's more management. You can't have some dinosaurs together even if they are herbivores, because some animals do compete. Some herbivores are just naturally quite aggressive. You can't house elephants and rhinos or hippos and rhinos together. They tend to be very aggressive. So you have to be careful with animals like that. Like in the wild, they'll do that in zoos. You may be able to house depending on the individual, but with that, I think it just breaks all the herbivores can get together, and you can just make a bigger enclosure just a lot. But I think that really adds more management to what enclosures you create, because you have to account for different animals that get on and certain animals that don't, and you get into species bonus and things like that, just like Planet Zoo. And as we see here, so look, there might even be bonuses for your dinosaurs and park ratings if compatible dinosaurs share an enclosure. Something to look out for, park managers. So yeah, that pretty much covers what I said. Having that just adds a lot more management to the game, because even if you just want to add a dinosaur, you might think, oh, was it compatible with all the dinosaurs in an enclosure? And it'll get more complicated as you put more dinosaurs. So I think that's really cool. So also, to stay on top of welfare needs of your dinosaurs, your ranger teams can link up to ranger posts and can be placed inside your enclosure. So I assume that's that. They'll be visited by rangers when they're out on patrols, letting them scan every dinosaur within range of the post. You can track the ranger with scanning an individual dinosaur. You can task them, in case you need to update on how they're doing. So that's kind of similar to the Planet Zoo way, I've noticed. Like, you have an animal person, the zookeeper, come to the enclosure, scan it. Okay, it's good. We'll move on now. So they kind of applied that into a more extreme extent, because you have bigger enclosures, bigger and more dangerous animals, of course, with the dinosaurs. So that's really expanded. I think that's pretty cool as well, since they're not really going to have people in the game. It's usually vehicles, which makes sense, because no one's going to run out just with a gun and a habitat with Triceratops and large dinosaurs and like that. That'd be dumb. No one does it with elephants, so so that would be a good idea. So I like that. So that just also means as well that you're not going to be given as much information, not exactly how your dinosaur's doing. You'll have to figure that out for yourself, which I think adds another management thing to it. I really like that. See how that exactly plays out. It'll be pretty cool to see. Let's have a look. We hope you're ready for the challenges ready to take on the challenges of Jurassic World Evolution 2 later this year. We're very excited to see how you fare when trying to take care of the ancient reptiles and dinosaurs. We can't wait to see the amazing parks you create. Let us know what you think of the new gameplay features in the comments below, so that's pretty cool. So join us on our next feature focus, where we look at customization and the different ways you can put a unique touch on your both dinosaurs and park buildings. Until then, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and join the discussion about the game on our forums. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to get a customization. It'd be cool to see what that entails. And I really like a lot of the changes. A lot of this was like mainly quality of life things that people really wanted in Jurassic World Evolution. But I think adding a lot of this to the concept of less dinosaurs in a theme park or a zoo, this is a lot more about conservation and managing in a safari park setting. I think that really helps with adding some of these mechanics, such as releasing them in herds, bigger enclosures, territories. I think that really helps lean into that. And this is a lot of people are pretty much going to be able. When we see what we saw in the last video with the interview, is that dinosaurs now don't need feeders, they feed naturally from the enclosure. You could pretty much make Site B, but make it interesting, because I am a firm believer that Site B has no gameplay to it, because all you're doing is placing down some dinosaurs, watching them to see how they interact. It's fun for a while, but it's not going to be fun forever. So now what you could do, you could just make a park, and that the animals will manage themselves and do socialize and all that. You just need to manage it as you would, but then you can also have the management of the park. So you kind of combine the coolest things about Site B along with the park, and I think you could pretty much just create a free-range park with a small area for the people and make them happy, and then you can have your animals going wild. So I think that's really, really cool, and I think that'll work well in what this game and what the movie Jurassic World Dominion is going to go for. So I think that's pretty cool. So, of course, I'm going to keep you guys posted on all things. I don't want to do like every little update. I kind of want to do just feature focuses, anything big. I will cover it because I don't want to do all sorts of different things. I don't want to be like 3 videos a day talking about each little thing and drawing it out. I want to make things that I enjoy and want to point out. So I think that's really cool. So, yeah, I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like and subscribe. Always remember to hit that little bell icon to get notified when I upload anything. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.